Hey guys, in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to draw a water drop in Procreate. We're going to be using various methods and tools, so you'll also learn Procreate tips along the way. So stick around and we'll get started in a few moments. Welcome back, fellow artists, and if you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm Mad Tzen and I'm a digital illustrator. I create Procreate tutorials for beginners. Welcome back, guys. Before we get started, I want to mention that we're going to be using some traditional methods of drawing. You'll find that we're going to go back and forth between steps, since that's how traditional art is done. Okay, so let's get started. So the first thing I want to show you is the size that I've chosen for my canvas. You can type these dimensions for your canvas size before we get started with the tutorial. If you're not sure how to create your own canvas sizes, you can watch one of my tutorials entitled How to Create Canvas Sizes in Procreate, which I'll leave the link up above and also in the description below to help you understand how to create appropriate canvas sizes. Next, I'll show you the color palette. These are the 4 colors we will be using. When creating your color palette, make sure that you place the colors in the exact same position as I've done here to make it easier for you to follow the tutorial. If you're not sure how to create color palettes in Procreate, don't worry, I've got you covered. I've also created a tutorial for that. You can click on the link above, which will take you to one of my tutorials entitled How to Create Color Palettes from Images in Procreate. You can also find the same link in the description below. First thing we're going to do is go into the brush library, go to the sketching category, and tap on Procreate Pencil. Then we'll draw a circular shape on the canvas. It doesn't need to be a perfect circle because we're drawing a water drop. Then we'll go to layers and make a duplicate of our circle, then toggle off the layer below. Next, we'll go into colors and tap on white, then drag white into the circle. Then we'll go back to layers and we'll tap on the white circle image to bring up a list. Tap on Alpha Lock. Then we'll go back to the brush library, go down to the airbrushing category, and choose the soft airbrush. Make sure that your pencil size is not too big here on the left, and we're going to leave opacity as it is. Then go to colors and choose the darker gray on the bottom left. Now we're going to start by coloring the upper right of our water drop. We want to make the upper right a darkish gray. Once you've done that, go back to colors and choose the lighter gray here on the bottom right. And we'll use that color around the middle. We'll go back to colors again and choose black. And we're going to lightly put this shade of black on the upper right edge of our water drop. Then you want to come up here to the smudge tool to try and smooth out the black and blend it into the darker gray. If you're unsure of how the smudge tool works, you can watch one of my tutorials entitled How to Blend Colors in Procreate, which I'll leave the link up above and also in the description below. This will help you understand how to correctly blend colors with the smudge tool. If you need to, you can repeat the process because we need a dark, thin outer layer on the top right of our water drop. We'll need to continue to use the smudge tool to blend all the colors in nicely. Smudging gives us the ability to create a gradient from a darker shade of gray to a lighter shade of gray, giving the effect of a realistic water drop. Next, I'm going to go back to layers. I'm going to duplicate the original circle that we drew earlier, then toggle off the layer below. Click on transform here and move our circle outline to the bottom left, like so. Once I'm happy with how that looks, I'll go down to the menu underneath and click on Freeform. Freeform will allow us to shape our shadow into a position that we want. We want to make this look as natural as possible. If you're not entirely happy with the position of your shadow, click on Warp down here on the right to help you adjust those areas of the shadow until you're happy with how it looks. When you're okay with everything, just click on Transform again to commit. Next, drag black into the shadow area. Then we'll click on the adjustments tool and come down here to Gaussian blur, then click on it. So now what you want to do is drag your pen on the screen from left to right until we reach 15%. Click on the adjustments tool again to commit. Then go to layers, then click on the black shadow image. Then we'll click on Alpha Lock. We'll go back to colors and choose white. Then go to the brush library and choose the soft airbrush again. Now we're going to use the soft airbrush to paint an inner white on the black shadow. This is going to give the illusion that light is coming through our water drop, which is reflected underneath. Go back to layers and click on the water drop, and we'll tap on the smudge tool again. Now that we have a shadow and a reflection under our water drop, we can clearly see where the light source is coming from. In this case, our light source will come from the top right to the bottom left, and we want to follow that direction. So we're going to follow that direction of light using our smudge tool, and that darker color gradually becomes lighter as it reaches the bottom left of our water drop. The smudge tool is very useful in creating a realistic look. This is the reason why I use this tool. You'll probably find that when you're smudging the colors together, that it will take you time to get that smooth look. But keep at it, because I promise you that the end result is worth it. I'll just go back to layers and click on the shadow layer again. We want to get rid of that thick black outline. So what I'm going to do is use the smudge tool to make the white reflection larger and the outline of the black shadow thinner. Now it's time for us to make the highlight. So I'll go back to layers, click on our main water drop, then tap on the plus button here to add a new layer above it. Go back to color palettes and choose white. Then I'll go to the brush library, go to the calligraphy category, and choose the monoline brush. I'll draw a white circle on the top right and drag white onto that circle. Then I'll just go in and fill in any of the spaces. Then I'll go back to adjustments, Gaussian blur, and increase the percentage until I reach 6%. Next, I'll go back to layers and add another layer. Go back to the brush library and choose the Procreate pencil. We're going to use a new method using our finger to choose colors. And I'm just going to tap on the edge of the water drop that needs fixing to pick up that color there. So I want this gray here. And now we can start coloring in with our pencil to fix the rough edges of our water drop. The purpose of this is to try and make sure that everything looks smooth. I'm not too worried about the color variations here because later we're gonna blend everything in anyway. Then I'll go back to layers and I'll drag that layer that we've been working on above the water drop. Then I'll merge that layer and the water drop by pinching the layers together. Then I can go back to using the smudge tool to blend all the colors together. I think I need a little bit more of a darker outline on the bottom left of our water drop. So I'll go back to colors and choose black. And I'm gonna lightly fill the bottom part with that color. Again, we'll go back to the smudge tool and we'll blend everything in until the black becomes a thin line. If you find that your water drop looks somewhat dark, don't be afraid to go back to colors and choose white to fill in the spaces where they're supposed to be white. Now the last thing I'm gonna do is make our water drop brighter. So I'm going to use the smudge tool to push the white towards the right top of our water drop, making it look brighter. Now this process might take time. We're trying to achieve a smooth gradient between the gray and the white. Once again, you want to make sure that you don't leave patches of gray or white on the water drop. We're aiming for a smooth look. Thanks for watching, guys. Now you know how to draw a water drop in Procreate. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video.